Hello everybody, I hope you're having a great Vlogmas so far. I am very much enjoying everybody's Vlogmas videos. I never thought about doing Vlogmas because I just thought I wouldn't have the time to do it, and then suddenly in December I really wanted to do Vlogmas, but by then it was way too late to plan enough videos. But watching everyone else's videos has definitely got me more into a Christmas festive spirit, which is lovely. So today I will be doing a haul of pretty much all the books I've picked up in secondhand shops and op shops since I last did a haul, which was a few months ago. First off though, I want to show you what I got from my Kris Kringle. The lovely Amy at Polly Reads organised a few of us Aussie booktubers to do a Kris Kringle. I got Pip from Pip's Reads, and so I really hope she likes the book that I sent her. Hopefully she doesn't have it already. And Julia from Julia's Book Time got me. She very kindly sent me this really pretty card. I think it's so cute. It even has a pink and grey galah, which is one of my favourite birds. And in my beautifully wrapped present, I got The Idiot by Elif Batuman. This was one of my favourite books that I read this year, and I borrowed it from the library, so I didn't have my own copy. So that's amazing that Julia sent me a copy, and I absolutely love this cover as well. I'm really excited to read this again in the future because I know it's definitely one that I'll pick up again. So the only two books that I didn't get from op shops recently was these two. I got these on my trip to Melbourne last month, so this is the only new book I bought. This is one of the bookshops that Amy, Pip and Elise took me to when we caught up for a Booktuber meetup, and this is from Neighbourhood Books in Northcote, which was this really tiny cute little bookshop and had probably a much better range than any bookshop in Perth despite being half the size. Ironically, I went all the way to Melbourne and I bought a book by a WA author, but I really been wanting to read this for a while because I want to do the My Neck of the Wood tag, and I've read one non-fiction book by Robert Drew, but I haven't read any of his fiction, so I kind of wanted to read one of those before I did that tag because I definitely want to talk about Robert Drew as one of the authors from my city. Unfortunately, Elise had to go, but Pip and Amy took me to a secondhand bookshop further up the road. I was really impressed by the variety, just so many different authors and genres. If I hadn't been taking a plane back home and I'd already reached the maximum limit of how much carry-on luggage I was allowed, I definitely would have bought a lot more, but I did buy this one, The Love of a Bad Man by Laura Elizabeth Woolcott. This is one of Amy's favourite books, and it's from a local Melbourne author, which was kind of cool to be able to buy that in Melbourne itself. And it is a collection of short stories, each one from the point of view of a woman who is in love with a bad man, as the title suggests. And on the sticker it says the name of the bookshop, so it was Brown and Bunting Booksellers. So on to the op shop finds. This is probably my favourite op shop find of the year. I was literally on the way out of the op shop and I just saw this sitting away from all the other books in the shop, sort of on display, and this is 4 of Thomas Hardy's novels in a collection. According to this box, they are the Great novels. It was super dusty when I bought it, so I cleaned it all off, and then it had the price in a black marker on the side, so I had to clean that off as well. So I felt a little bit like an archaeologist discovering old books. So I'm currently reading Far from the Madding Crowd. Unfortunately, because I put it in my bag to go to work, the front has chipped a little bit, so there is a white spot, which makes me really sad, but my fault for not taking better care of it. I really love this cover because it looks really Christmassy, so I feel like it's a suitable time of the year to read this book. But I really love all these covers. They're all paintings, and I just think they're so cute and vintagey. So in the front it says that these editions were first published in 1978 and reprinted in 1979 twice, so I'm presuming that these were brand new in 1979, which makes them almost 40 years old, which I love. They've obviously have been quite well worn, and it's so cool to think about all the people in the past 40 years who potentially enjoyed these stories or didn't enjoy them, which is why they ended up in an op shop. I can't remember the order that I got these in, but that's fine, I'll just go through them. I think I've shown you guys this already. I found Kazuo Ishiguro's short story collection. I constantly find copies of his novels in op shops. I'm not sure what that says about him. Hopefully just that he is seen as quite a popular author, so people buy a lot of his books. Hopefully it's not just that they really don't like his novels. Perhaps it's also that he's a really diverse writer, so people who might have read Never Let Me Go and really enjoyed it might pick up one of the others like The Unconsoled, and I couldn't finish that book. I thought thought it was awful. I think I'm only missing 2 copies of his books from my own collection, so this was exciting to find this one, and I'm really curious to see what he does with short stories. I think it'll be really interesting. I found this copy of Bliss by Peter Carey. I loved Oscar and Lucinda this year, so when I found this with this really cool yellow cover, I couldn't not buy it, even though I wasn't planning on reading any more Peter Carey for a while. This is from a collection called Faber Firsts. So they published the first novels of a variety of authors, and yellow is one of my favorite colors, so I just think this is so pretty. I found this in an op shop in Bunbury near my parents' house, and then I found it in another op shop up here in Perth. It's The Submerged Cathedral by Charlotte Wood. Her most famous novel at the moment is The Natural Way of Things, which I wasn't the biggest fan of, but then I read Animal People by her, and I just thought that was one of the best books I've ever read. So I think this is an earlier novel even than Animal People, so it'll be really interesting to see if her style is any different and be able to sort of compare how much her writing style has evolved over the years. And lastly, I have the autobiography of Ruth Park. I believe this is just the first volume of her autobiography, and Ruth Park wrote The Harp in the South, which I loved this year. And then I read up on her on Wikipedia, and she's had such a fascinating life. She was born in New Zealand, worked as a journalist, and really wanted to move to America but wasn't able to, so moved to Australia instead. And that is how we got The Harp in the South novels, from her experiences of living in Sydney. And if she'd moved to America, they would never have been written. I really enjoyed her writing style, so it would be really cool to see her writing about her own life in that way. And like any good autobiography or biography, it has photos in the middle. There she is, this tiny child. So cute. So those are all the new books I've collected over the past few months. I know for sure that after Christmas I'll have some more to show you, because I basically pointed out the books that I wanted to my mum in the bookshop so that I would get something that I really want at Christmas. And having a feel of the present my grandmother has given me to open on Christmas Day, that's definitely a book as well. So guaranteed at least 3 books this Christmas, which is very exciting, because one year I didn't get any because my parents and my sister don't ever know what to get me. They don't know what I've read, and they don't really know what I like to read either. And I was really sad that I didn't get a book, and it just felt like a really weird Christmas not having at least one book, which is very middle class and privileged of me for sure. Let me know if you've read any of those books and if there's any particular ones that I should start reading first. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you soon. Bye.